There you go.
There you go.
All right, we're live now. All right, everybody. My name is Jason Smith. Thank you all for being here today at Reverend Rifles Company here in Birmingham, Alabama. As you all know, about 15 months ago, we started talking about this program of lethal means safety storage, about how can we get a veteran or a military member or a first responder to put some time and space between them and their firearm, just long enough so they can connect with a peer or someone who could help them out. Being in a red state, you know, our Second Amendment is very important, and this project that we started was kind of based around protecting the Second Amendment right, protecting the FFLs, the gun stores who participate in the program, and taking care of our first responder, veteran, military community with every ounce of what we've got. Okay, so we said, well, how do we do that? So we started looking around other states. Just so y'all know, a quick background, we went out to Wisconsin. We talked with them. They've got a program. We talked to some folks in Colorado when we were out in Portland, Oregon for a conference. And then we found out Louisiana had a bill, and the bill was basically a liability bill to protect the FFLs that participate in the program. And so we took that bill support from the TAG, the Adjutant General, Resiliency Director, and a bunch of other people in the community, the ADVA, the American Legion, the VFW, and a host of other organizations. And we sat down and said, how can we protect the FFL and the veteran and the first responder? And so we got to get this bill done. And so the liability bill is simply, it's not a red flag law. It's not anything designed to tell anybody about, like the VA or your boss or anything like that. It basically protects these stores who have provided some storage space in their store so a veteran, first responder, military member can drop off their weapon for whatever extended period of time they need while they go get some help. That's it. That's the bottom line. You all know the numbers. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the suicide numbers in the veteran or the military or the first responder community. They are high. So when we started the bill, we said, "Wait, this is great, but we got to tie a story because there's so many stories to this bill." And so we had a couple families, just two of many that we've had that have lost somebody to this. And so we found some namesakes in the state of Alabama. Houston Tumlin. If y'all don't know Michelle Tumlin, the Houston Project, her son, he played in the movie Talladega Nights with Ricky Bobby's oldest son, the Badmouth Kid. It was awesome. Unfortunately, took his life a few years ago, and we talked to Michelle, and hey, we'd like to put half his name and the namesake on this bill. And then Hunter Whitley, his mom Shannon McDaniels, who's here today, who just got back from D.C., having a great conversation with people up there about overprescription in the VA, which I think is amazing. We need to have that conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and say that out loud, too. And so the other half of that bill was with Hunter Whitley, Marine who was at Abbey Gate during the withdrawal from Afghanistan. He was actually on the Iron Rock with us 3 years ago as well, took his life, unfortunately. And so that bill is named after these two young men, which is two stories that really, if you look across the board, in the last 20 years, we've lost over 35,000 veterans to suicide. So you think about how many families this could impact, right? So the bill got up. We got it going. We found some great representation in the House and the Senate. We got Senator Keith Kelly here today. He carried the bill in the Senate, Senate Bill 40. And then we had Russell Bedsole, Trey Hendricks, and a host of other co-sponsors in the House, about 20 deep, that carried this bill. And me not being a politician or being into politics, period, to see Republicans and Democrats come together and vote yes on something together, I thought was pretty amazing. So I want to thank Senator Keith Kelly. And I know Russell couldn't be here today, and Trey, I don't think he's here today, but just thank y'all for the work y'all did, because I could not be up there speaking, watching a filibuster. I don't know how y'all do that stuff, so thank you for what you did. But we got the bill passed. We got the governor signed in April. It happened. We started working this program. My co-chair, Kelly, author, she's hiding over there, but Kelly and I started thinking about this back in February or March, and she's been with me all through this. And then also thought about, who's going to carry this. And then we found an organization that helps veterans and first responders, specifically with suicide prevention. And that's when we reached out to Bearded Warriors. And I've worked with Ty before on a couple of this. Ty Oswald, he's the founder of Bearded Warriors. I've worked with him on a couple of veteran cases where he's called me at 8 o'clock at night with a veteran in Montgomery that needs some help. So I know I can rely on him. He knows he can rely on me. And we thought, what a perfect place to host this program under a 501c3 that's working with suicide prevention. So that's where we're at today, and I'll get back to where we're going in the future. But Ty, I'd like to give you a few minutes to talk about Bearded Warriors and where we're at, man.
Yeah, don't forget to click.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for everybody coming out. My name's Ty Oswald. I'm with Bearded Warriors. We're based out of Huntsville. It's a veteran suicide prevention nonprofit that I started 12 years ago due to my own mental health journey after I got out. Kind of a little backstory. I was at work one day, and one of my coworkers pulled me off to the side and was like, "Hey, man, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like you need to go try to talk to somebody." And he's like, "I'll talk to you about anything." He's like, "But I honestly think that it's something past just a conversation that two people can have." And so that kind of pushed me to reaching out and trying to find mental health resources, whether it was through the VA or third party. Bounced around for a couple of years, finding a bunch of roadblocks or just dead ends. Mainly because things weren't really set up for OEF, OIF vets up in Huntsville at the time. Because Redstone is not a deploying Army base, and so there's not a huge population of combat vets in the area at the time. But fast forward to 2013, I just decided there was a couple of years of why hasn't anybody in this area gotten vets or their family members together to do stuff, or to be able to, have that sense of community that you had when you got home from work or you're at work with the people that you can rely on, that you work with all the time. So like I said, a bunch of why hasn't somebody else done it to why don't I? And so I created a Facebook page and then started a once a month meetup at the downtown Memorial, just for at least a once a month that everybody could get together and talk and catch up and see what was going on. And then, like I said, fast forward 12 years. Apparently I was in an interview process when I met Jason, and he was grilling me on a whole bunch of questions that kind of make sense now of kind of vetting if I was, if we were worth being a part of the effort and going to help or be able to help vets or be a part of wanting to help vets. But over the last 12 years, we've given back almost, I want to say, probably over $2 million into the Huntsville, Decatur, Athens area through the Home Depot Foundation with $25,000 home beautification grants. We do a lot of social interaction things to get vets out of the house, but we are very whole family oriented, so there's literally no excuse to why a vet can't come to an event that we have, because whether they're a single parent or have a bunch of kids or their spouses and stuff like that, the whole dynamic is what we have across everything that we're doing. So if you've got little kids but you're trying to network with other vets or a spouse or whatnot, there's another vet or a spouse that'll take your kid and go play or color or do something, so that you can have that one-on-one connection with somebody that is either like-minded or has a like experience, so that you can connect on an apples to apples conversation with them. Going through the process and seeing this come all the way full circle is pretty amazing. It's one of those, we hope we never have to use it because all of our vets are doing very well. But if one vet walks into an FFL that signs up and hands their weapon over to them so that they can get the help that they need, this will be 100% success. So everybody in here is a testament to hopefully this program being very successful and helping one veteran save their life.
Thanks, Tom. And real quick, I don't do this often. All right, so kind of go through the process of Safer Together and the Houston Hunter Act. So when a veteran, military member, first responder walks in the door with an organization like Redland Rifles that has a program, Safer Together, they say, "Hey, look, I'd like to utilize this program." It's a pretty simple process. There's a one-page hold harmless agreement that's done between the store, the FFL, and the veteran military member. It's got to be the veteran. It's got to be the owner. So it's got to be the owner of the firearm. Personal accountability, right? So they bring the weapon in. Say, "I'd like to store this weapon for a little bit." That's step one. They fill out the paperwork. They take them back. We've got 4 safes set up here in the store here in Redland Rifles. We've also got a few stores set up down at Walter Craig right now in Montgomery, Alabama, and working on a few others as we speak. They go and take that weapon to the safe, which you all see today if you haven't. When they open that safe, they're actually going to get a folder that's going to have the 988 number. It's also going to have a list of other resources. And they're going to be connected to something called peer support. And if you don't know what peer support is, that's someone who's been in the fighting hole, someone who's overcome an addiction, a mental health, a combination of those two things or whatever. They've gotten themselves out of the fighting hole. Now they're out thriving. They've gone through post-traumatic growth. Now they're helping other people. We want to connect that person who's in that fighting hole by themselves with somebody who's on the other end of that, someone who's been there, done that, been in those shoes. But right now we've got a team of about 10 peer support specialists throughout the state, from Huntsville all the way down to Mobile. We got a couple of them here today, and I'm glad to have them here. We'll have them on the website here soon, and we'll also have their information in that folder. And what a peer is going to do is talk to them and say, hey, brother, I've been there. Let's see what you need next, man. Let's just go from there, because everybody's at a different level in life, right? And so we'll get them to where, if they're not connected with the VA, we're going to get them connected to the VA. If they need to go make a trip to the vet center, or they need to find a substance use disorder treatment center, or they need to find some equine therapy, or maybe they just need to sit down and have a cup of coffee with another vet and just talk through some things, man, just make a connection. Sometimes it's not a white coat therapist that saves us. It's our own. So that's kind of the whole premise of the program, is the peer support. And then when they come back and get that weapon and they take it back out of that locker, that's all on them. They're the only ones who are going to have the code to the locker. The store will not have it. And because the store will not have the code to the weapon, there's no requirement for an acquisition disposition log to be filled out by the ATF. And that's through ATF law and DOJ law. We're following the law on this. And so they'll be the only ones that have access to that safe. So when they come back and get that weapon, they take that weapon back with them, and then we're going to have a program called After Action. So now we want to connect them to other organizations in the state or outside the state that can help with something called post-traumatic growth. Now we've made it through the struggle. We're struggling the best we can. We're getting through things, and now we're going to start thriving. And so programs like Boulder Crest, Warrior Path, Alabama Veterans, our Equine Therapy, Bonfire Ranch. We've got a ton of 501c3s in this building right here and throughout the state that are doing some great work with veterans and their families. It's connecting them back to those resources. When it comes to preventing suicide, it's about trust and connection, and that's what we've got to work on the most, okay? You're not going to get the answer to the bottom of a pill bottle. You're not going to get it at the bottom of a bourbon bottle. You're going to get it from the other folks around you who have been there working together and working through problems. That's what life is. Life is always going to be like that. So that's the key steps of Safer Together. We want to keep it simple. We want to protect the Second Amendment rights of all of our veterans, first responders, military members. We want to keep the confidentiality. Remember, this program is temporary, voluntary, confidential. Nobody else needs to know, okay? Just know that you will be connected to a peer support specialist if you choose so. If you don't, you're still going to get a folder out of that locker, and hopefully you'll make that phone call. So that's the premise of the program. So I'd like to invite up JD, the store owner here, Reverend Rifle Company, and have him talk real quick, because this store right here, when we brought this out, they were all on board, because you got a bunch of veterans that work in here. And so they wanted to jump on this. So they're kind of like our flagship for this program. And they've got the capacity, they've got the mindset, they've got the heart and the connection to make this thing happen. So we're just very grateful to have JD and his team here. So I'm going to turn it over to JD, let you talk about it, man, and just thank you for being a part of this program.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. And that's a lot of words, brother.
Yeah, no.
I love it. You didn't leave very many for me.
It's all you,
but so at the end of the day, number one, thank y'all for coming up here. This is absolutely amazing. And really, we are brothers keepers, right? And so this is just the right thing to do. I don't have a lot to say. I mean, you did awesome, right? Like there's not a lot to say after that, but the reality is we have to do what we can to help make sure that we get these veterans better. We can do what we can to protect them, that sort of thing. So again, I appreciate y'all being here. It's really kind of humbling. Like this blows me away. It really does. And I absolutely appreciate y'all letting us do this. It's really neat. It's really neat. So thank y'all again. That's really all I got.
That's all you got. Thank you, brother. Awesome. Thank you, JD. Thank you. So what I would ask, a couple things real quick before I turn it over to Kelly over here. I ask that if you don't have the process, this is one pager right here, talks about the process. The other side of that talks about the statistics, which we all know, right? All that information is in there. Make sure you have a copy of that. Really, 3-step process. We're keeping this thing simple. Copy of the bill signed by the governor right here. It's literally like a page and a quarter. Well, I didn't know anything about civics, man. I thought when he did this, it was going to be like 100 pages of crap. No, it's really like a page and a half, a liability bill to protect the gun stores. It's that simple. It's like triple space. Of course, I can read this. It's awesome, all right? So we got this bill done, the Houston Hunter Act, so make sure you get a copy of that. If you want to see what the hold harmless agreement looks like, it's pretty simple. Just basic information is up here as well. Grab a copy. And then everybody that's here today, please, we got these canvas sheets back here. We'd like you to just put your name on both of them. We're going to keep one here in the store, and we're going to keep here for one for Safer Together for the big launch. This is a memorial type thing for us, so we've got that. next thing I want to do, did I turn my mic back on, bro? Shit, I don't know. Yeah, it's on. Okay, so we got a nice donation, and may I say this: if you would like to donate or drop off some money for a safe, please let me know. We could use more safes. Safer Together will provide the safes to the gun stores who want to participate in the program. We provided 4 to this store, we provided 4 down to Montgomery, and we got a few more in order for our stores down in the south that we want to get done and up north. So we're always looking for that. But we did get a website off one of our donations for Safer Together. And what I'm going to do is turn it over to Kelly over here because she's got the big touch screen. So if y'all want to kind of shimmy around and take a look, she'll kind of go through it. Here, you want this? You got to have the mic. You got it.
Can I just hold it, JD? Absolutely. Okay. So this website is purchased through donations from a local nonprofit. But the main part that we want to make sure that y'all see is the address, safertogetheral.org. But also on the top corner is where you can direct people to find storage. So currently we've got 2 stores that are live. We've got Redland Rifle, thanks to JD and his team, and also Walter Craig in Montgomery. So there are 2 stores, and hopefully if you follow this process, this map is just going to continue to grow. So if you know FFLs that are interested in just having a conversation, there's an email address at the bottom of the process paper that you can get them in contact with us, and we'll happily go out, meet them, answer questions, that kind of thing. Our goal ultimately would be to have an FFL in all counties across Alabama. We want to make it easy access for folks that are interested in using this program or more. So continue to check back at the website if you're ever needing to refer somebody to this program to know what FFLs are on board. Any other part?
Yeah, so and on the website too. Oh, yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. On the website, you got the process. Once again, reiterate: voluntary, temporary, confidential. The steps that are on that one page that we gave you all today are all on here. And I actually encourage you, if you don't know about peer support and what that is and what that means, I want you to, we're going to have this up. If you haven't read this yet, you need to read it. I'm not reading this because I can't make it through this. But when you get a chance, I'd like y'all to read this. We'll come back to that. That talks about the process, media, some of our flyers you can download, the ATF letter, the Houston Hunter Act, the Safer Together flyer, all that's on there. Of course, we got some big pictures right here and some of the media coverage that we had that's on there. So you'll see all that stuff. And we'll be adding this as well. And then on resources, this is going to continue to grow. Community resources we're always looking to add here. And I know we got the Soldier Fell in the Hole. You need to read that. Of course, our vet centers. If you don't know about the vet center, it's one of the best kept secrets that a lot of us don't know about. And from Montgomery, I didn't know we had one right there on Atlanta Highway. I didn't go to it. I didn't know anything about it. But it's amazing, confidential, great bunch of folks, and most of them there are veterans, so that's really nice. I think there's another. Let me see if I missed something down here on this. I think I did. Where's all the partners at? Oh, yeah, there we go.
New.
We're still, and then so if you don't know about Houston Hunter,
they're so pretty.
You can go here and read both their stories. They're both here, and of course we got Miss Shannon and Michelle here. Probably gonna have y'all say something too, so get ready because they spoke in front of Congress and Senate, and they're well to do now. All the facts, community partners. If you're not on this list, you want to be a part of this list, let me know. We'd love to have you. Right now, we've got organizations like 22-0, Alabama Law Enforcement Alliance for peer supports on here. And you keep going. We got Bonfire Ranch. We've got Ron Eddy here today. Thank you for being here. If you haven't been out there to play with the horses yet, you need to go. Alliance Health, Ryan Layton's here today. We got his crew out here. Bradford Heroes Path. That's where I went and got sober almost 8 years ago. I worked for them for a couple of years. Bearded Warriors. When you go here, you can actually click on those different community partners. Go check them out. Share. So we're looking to put anybody out here who wants to be a part of this. No money required. We just need resources. That's what we're looking for. So just to let y'all know about that. Any questions about the website? Everybody good? Beautiful. It is beautiful, man. We had a good web designer, man. That was well spent. I'm going to put it back on that peer thing. Yeah. If you get a chance, seriously, though, if you haven't read, we're not reading this. I'm not going to make anybody read it, but if you get a chance, please read that. One last thing I'd like to do, I would like to invite Shannon and Michelle up here for a few moments and give them the floor, because they have been like warriors through this whole process, and watching them speak to the Senate, to the House, to the Alabama National Guard, to everybody else, and what they've done in the community and what they've done for veterans and their families is unbelievable. So if y'all would give them a quick hand real quick, and we'll bring them on in. Who wants to go first?
Hey, I'm Shannon McDaniel, and my son was Hunter Whitley. He lost his life to suicide in 2022. He was a Marine Corps veteran, came back to Tuscaloosa, started school at the University of Alabama. He was very excited and went to the Tuscaloosa VA hospital for treatment, got put on some medication, and about 104 days later took his life. And I do think that if something like this had been around and he had been given the opportunity, he was not even, there was no lethal means safety plan in place for him, even though he had suicidal thoughts. And if there was something like this, I think that he would have went for it, and he may still be here today. So I hope that hope we can save a lot of lives with this all over the state of Alabama. And I'm glad that people are speaking up and coming out and talking about things and not holding it in anymore. And I think that's another part of what this is going to do, is help people, start a conversation and work together, save some lives. Now y'all get to hear from Michelle. She's much better than I am.
I'm a nervous wreck today, so been crying all day. But I don't even know where to start. So he said we were warriors. We're just moms that love our babies. So I lost Houston in 2021 to suicide by gun. Everybody says, what does this bill mean to you? What do these lockers mean to you? I watched my son struggle for 4 years. He would call me on the phone. Mom, can you come spend the night? I'm not feeling right. We would hide guns, whatever it took. And I just know in my heart that if he would have had the opportunity to use these lockers, my boy, I think, would be right here with me. He's not physically with me, but he's with me always. And he is cheering on every bit of this process. He's with us. And when I met this lovely mom, God put all of us in this circle together. And it was not an accident. I was speaking. I already knew Kelly because I was involved with the VA and speaking, because I am not shy. I will talk about my kid 24/7. And I got a beautiful daughter, Hayden. I love you too, sweet girl. But I thought, you know what? I'm just going to use my pain. I'm going to use the story. And if we can save one life, that's what we're going to do. Well, this whole process, I was already speaking at the VA. Loved this lady from the minute one. They asked me to come. I think it was you probably that asked me to come speak at the Iron Ruck year before last, I believe. I was so scared, and I tried to talk myself out of it because it was a large group of people, and I was feeling very emotional. And you can ask Jason. I tried 3 times to back out. I was like, I don't feel good. I feel a little nervous, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, put your big girl panties on and go talk about your boy. Well, when I recognized him from, I don't know, one of the events or whatever, I connected with him immediately. Well, then this lovely mom, after I speak, and I'm going to have to say God was with me at that moment, because God gave me words and I spoke, and I know I made my son proud. And this lovely lady came running to me after, and we cried together. And we showed pictures of our sons. And I said to her, and she said to me, boy, our boys are beautiful. And I said, and their names sound good together. Y'all, fast forward. I'm shaking, but that was like 2 years ago. That was not an accident. Our boys are beautiful. Our boys are best friends in heaven because they were a hot mess. Their names are perfect together. So when I got the call, I was in the public shopping center, and these two called and didn't give me a warning. I cried so hard when they asked permission for Houston to be one of the names and one of the faces. And I sat in that Publix parking lot in my car, and I cried for 30 minutes. And I know everybody thought, what is wrong with her? It's such an honor. I'm so proud to be here. I appreciate all of y'all. I never in a million years thought I would be at the Alabama House, that I would be meeting all of y'all and talking and meeting, just the governor. Like, I never knew any of this would happen in my journey, but I'm so proud to be able to share my son with everyone. And I know if one veteran or first responder walks into this room and they put their gun in that locker, that's going to give them time to go get the help. I think that's going to save one life, and then it's going to save 2 lives, and it's going to keep on, and it's going to keep on, and we're going to stop this 22 a day, because it's got to stop. And all of us coming together, loving on veterans and supporting each other, this is all it takes. Takes one. And I'm so honored to be. I'm glad that God picked me to be Houston's mom. I'm honored. And I thank y'all so much, and I'll shut up now because I could talk forever.
All right. All right, we're just about done with all the presentations. So what we'd like to do, if you haven't gone through the process or you got questions, Kelly and I and Ty and JD, we're all here. Love to walk y'all through. If you haven't seen the safes yet, if you haven't walked back to the back and seen the package that they'll get when they come in and turn that weapon in, we'd love to take y'all through and walk y'all through this process so you can share this process with other people. But to have you all here today to be a part of this is amazing. So please give yourselves a hand, because we could not have done this without everybody in this room. Senator Keith Kelly, thank you, sir, for all your work. Everybody from the ADVA and the rest of the group that helped us out with all this. I mentioned the tag. Sir, thank you. You were one of the first people I went to about this in your office. I wasn't looking for an answer, yes or no. I was going to do it anyway, but you supported me. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I really do. And Colonel Wheeler, thank you for your support. Thank y'all. There's snacks. There's coffee. So, Kelly, you got anything?
If you feel so inclined, when they pull out that resource packet, one of the very unique touches that we are including is a handwritten note from a battle buddy. So if you've been through something or you've got some words of encouragement that you would like to share, there's some cards on this back table that we encourage you to take a second to write out a note so that we can include it in that resource packet, so that when the veteran or first responder pulls it out, they know that they're immediately greeted with some extra support. So, yeah, first name, no phone numbers, not too many personal details. But we would love to have you take a second to do that too.
And sign the.
And yes, there's also 2 canvases back here. One that we're going to keep here at the store. So if you do want to sign your name on that, just that you were a part of the launch. And then one will go back to the Safer Coalition just to represent today. So,
All right.
yeah.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You want to walk through?
I want to get a group photo real quick
Oh, yeah.
before everybody scatters. Right there. And a little wide.
back here to the. No.
That's everything.
Looking forward to seeing you again soon. You too, sweetie.
All right.
Are they back here?
I think so.